I've done 20-kilometer runs in this shoe and woke up the next day and my legs have felt fresh. So good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a full review of this New Balance SuperComp Trainer, a shoe that's so good it has been made illegal, or it is illegal. The big standout features for this shoe is the stack height. So it has 47 millimeters of foam, of fuel cell, super bouncy, responsive midsole, which make it illegal for road racing. So it's a daily trainer shoe with a carbon fiber plate, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it so far. I've now run about 50 miles in this shoe. So in today's video, I'll go over my first impressions, the key stats of this shoe, my likes and dislikes, and finally a little bit of a conclusion, having now put this shoe through its paces. So this shoe is a really exciting advancement in shoe technology. It's basically taken a racing shoe and made it more of a daily trainer. And they focused on things like recovery, by increasing that stack height. It's not quite as lightweight as a racing shoe, and as a result this probably wouldn't be a race day option for me personally. But yeah, I've absolutely loved my training in this shoes over the last 2 or 3 weeks. At first, when I took this shoe out for a run, I was a little bit apprehensive about this stack height. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but once you've done a few runs into it, you gain a little bit of confidence in the shoe. You realise that the stability in the shoe is actually pretty good. Usually for high stack shoes, that can be a little bit of a concern for some people, but the technology New Balance have put into this shoe make it actually a pretty stable ride. You've got quite a wide base landing platform at the front. You've also got this groove that runs throughout the shoe, which acts a bit like a trampoline, but also adds a bit of extra stability to the rear of this shoe. You've got a nice heel tab, which just offers the ankles that stability that the foam doesn't offer basically. And also we have a carbon fiber plate, which not only offers a nice sort of snappy energy return, it also adds some stability to that midsole. For this New Balance shoe, I've also gone half the size up, and I tend to do that for all New Balance shoes. I usually wear UK size 7.5, and I've gone UK size 8, which, I was looking at the sizing in this shoe. It's EU 42, which for my size, UK size 8 would usually be 42.5. So yeah, make sure you get the sizing right. For me personally, I would recommend going half size up, just because I find New Balance shoes come up a little bit snug, and you want to have a little bit of room in the toe box. So moving on to the specifications. First of all, let's start with this 47 millimeters of foam in the heel, dropping to a 39 millimeters in the forefoot, which is a crazy stack height. I've never ran in anything like that before. An 8 millimeter drop. This shoe in my UK size 8 weighs 292 grams. Put it on the scales this morning, which does make it a little bit heavy. For a daily trainer, I can look past that, but for a race day shoe, that's about 80 grams heavier than the Alpha Fly, Nike Alpha Fly, which is my sort of road racing shoe over the half and full marathon distance. The upper is really good, a standout feature for this shoe. It's like a knit upper, fully gusseted tongue. It sits very well on the foot, and comfort from the first run was great. You got a nice bit of padding in the heel. There's no problem with any lockdown on the shoe, no sort of hot spots, which is great. Exactly what you want for daily miles. And the price point for this shoe is a bit of an interesting one. In the UK market, this is being sold at £210. A bit of a disclaimer, I was sent this shoe via Pro Direct. So if you would like to pick up this shoe after watching this review, then there's a link down below. It just gives me a little bit of a kickback, I think something like 3%. So if you are looking at picking up this shoe, then please do so via the link below. And in the US, it costs $180, which is obviously a lot cheaper than it is over here in the UK. I did a conversion, and that's £152. So I'm not quite sure where that extra £60 comes from over here in the UK. Maybe it's something to do with import tax, Brexit, I have no idea. And the final specs to mention here is we have this sort of big groove that runs throughout the shoe that sort of splits the midsole into 2 sections. Fuel Cell, New Balance, are calling this the Energy Arc technology. and it also has the full length carbon plate, which runs throughout the entirety of the shoe. So moving on to my likes and dislikes of the New Balance Fuel Cell Trainer. The big like for me is this shoe is like a recovery goddess. I've done 20-kilometer runs in this shoe and woke up the next day and my legs have felt fresh, almost like I've had a rest day. Just that high stack height really helps protect the legs from the road, and yeah, I found it to be excellent for my recovery runs, and that's probably where I find this shoe, the sweet spots for this shoe basically is for my recovery, my easy day runs. I've done a little bit of tempo work in this shoe, but I think this shoe is better suited for the easy recovery runs. I also really like how niche this shoe is. There's not really anything else on the market like it with such a high stack height. I think Adidas have tried to do it with the Prime X. It's not a shoe that I personally have tried, but I really like the way sort of New Balance have been innovative here and brought something new to the shoe game. And yeah, obviously the price point does let the shoe down a little bit, but for all this technology and the shoe advancements, I can kind of see why they've had to put such a high price point. It's clearly been really well developed, and there's a lot of technology present in this shoe. And my final like about this shoe is how fun it makes running those easy miles, those recovery miles, which typically in my training block are the ones that are a little bit boring. I don't really necessarily look forward to. But in this shoe, they've made them really fun. It's a real soft, bouncy feel. It's almost like running in a marshmallow. And yeah, I've been really enjoying my easy runs, and I think that is partly down to the shoe. So if you're looking for a fun, bouncy ride, then yeah, this is a road shoe for you. Moving on to my dislikes, as I said, £210 for me is a little bit too expensive for a daily trainer. If I could race in this shoe, then I think that would warrant the price point a little bit more, but for me it just feels a little bit clunky at the race pace sort of stuff, and that's just for me personally. Other people might really get on well with this. Say for a marathon, if you're typically running a marathon a little bit slower, I'm a 2:28 marathon, and I personally wouldn't pick this shoe to try and run another marathon at that sort of pace. But say if I was running, I don't know, a marathon at my easy pace at, say, I don't know, 5-minute kilometers, I would probably go towards looking at this shoe as a race day option. So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. With shoe reviews, often people say, oh, this is not a race day shoe. That's just for me personally. It may be for you. And yeah, just wanted to make that point clear. And my final dislike for this shoe is it's quite a specific shoe. I found it being excellent for my recovery runs, my easy runs, but it lacks in versatility when doing any sort of speed work. I wouldn't really want to use this shoe on the track just because it's a little bit too high in terms of stack height. And I think, yeah, basically there are other shoes that are a little bit more versatile, so it does make it quite a specific shoe to add into your rotation. So finally, on to my conclusions. I've really enjoyed running in this shoe so far. A recovery day goddess. Yeah, excellent for my easy miles. I would recommend this shoe to people who maybe are limited by the number of miles they can run per week by impact. So I personally suffer from shin splints, or not suffer, that's not quite the right word. I constantly have to manage shin splints when I increase my mileage, when I run high mileage. I do things like massage, I use Pure Sport muscle and joint balm on my calves pretty much on the daily now, just to help ease a bit of that pain that I get from the impact. But running in this shoe has really helped ease that pain. Obviously a high stack height protects the legs, the shins from the impact. That has resulted in my hips and knees noticing that they're doing a little bit more work out on the run. So yeah, it takes a little bit getting used to this shoe. And my final conclusion is this is going to be great in the build up for my next races, my half marathons. I'm also planning to do another marathon before the end of the year. I'll do an announcement video very soon once I've got that all locked in. But for high mileage runners, days where you want to just protect the legs, maybe in between session days. So I've been using this for my easy runs, which has allowed me to really recover better for my sessions. Increased recovery means you can train to a higher volume and become a better runner. So yeah, this shoe is expensive, it is quite niche, but it definitely has a place in my rotation. I've really enjoyed testing it so far. If you've enjoyed this shoe review, please leave a like. and consider subscribing for more running shoe reviews. Let me know in the comments what shoes you would like to see me review next. Until next time, aspire to run, run to inspire, and we'll see you again soon. And consider certainly has a place in my rotation.